Alright, so as I'm about to ink, I really kind of want to go through some of the stuff I'm going to use here, because I'm going to try to be a little bit more serious about this drawing. For all the things that I'm doing for basic drawing, I'm using usually a medium soft pencil, or sometimes I'll use a soft pencil depending on what I want to do. I don't want it to be too hard or too heavy because it'll really gunk up the photo afterwards, leaving marks and whatnot. So a simple medium soft or even a soft pencil is kind of the way to go. Then my next step is to use a knead eraser for whenever I'm actually removing some of the stuff. Knead erasers are actually really good for getting into all the cracks and removing all of the pencil markings. So usually I'll do a good outline first, and then I'll go in and use a knead eraser to clean everything up. So for what I've been doing for the photos up until now is I've been using just standard pens and whatnot. This one here is a Uniball Air. It's actually really good for just doing simple sketches, and I love it for that simple fact. The tip on it is really fun to work with. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but I really enjoy just using it, and it's one of my go-tos for just quick and easy drawings, with ink at least. Alright, so I'm going to be using traditional Chinese ink for this drawing. I do believe I have a little bit of India ink left, but for this Inktober, I believe I'll just use this because I have a full container of it. Some of the other stuff I have is Bombay White India ink. It only cost me $5 for this little bottle, but it's good stuff. This is more of a touch-up after I've done everything else kind of thing, so bam. To hold my ink, or at least the pure black ink, I'll be using a candelabra, but it makes like a nice little thing for holding the ink. So yeah, no complaints there. It just holds quite a bit of ink. I'm probably not going to use too much ink, so I'm not going to fill it all the way up. But if you're wondering what this thing is on the side, it's a nice little cup. Basically just stands on the side. It was a suggestion from an art teacher, and I loved it and kept it ever since. So it's part of my kit. This here is a nice tilted bowl. This is what I would use for mixing my colors. So if I'm going for a light color or a dark color, I like to use this thing mainly because it has a nice lifted edge here. I believe this was an incense bowl originally. I'm not really sure where I got it, but I remember seeing this thing and saying, hey, that looks really good, and I think I'd like this. This here is my water jar, and it's kind of unique for the fact that you can set it flat, or you can set it at a slight angle. Yeah, so I forget where I got this, but I remember it worked really well for me, and I've kept it. I like it. I believe that you should use a ink dropper whenever mixing your colors. Say I want a little bit of water, doop doop doop, doop doop doop. I need a little bit of ink, doop doop doop, doop doop doop. Never contaminate your original source. Yeah, that's just one bad thing you never want to do. So if you have a source of ink here, you're good, but never contaminate your original sources. So if you're drawing anything out, make sure you draw it out, put it where you need it, and then bam, good to go. And then of course you have all the tools for the job. I'm using zebra brushes. I believe I got this online. They are from Tokyo. They're stainless steel, just really good, high quality inking tips. Another tip from my teacher, basically. I believe you can actually store quite a bit of ink in these things, and it's been a minute since I've actually played with these, but I do have a bunch of tips. And then I have a bunch of older ones I bought from general stores and stuff like that. I'm probably not going to be using a bunch of these, but yeah. And then as I get into a little bit more of this, I'll probably wind up using some paintbrushes, just because. You have a wide selection of different ones, some finer tips, some heavier tips, and then this bad boy here for just maybe some effect of like brushing over something if needed. And then of course I have a toothbrush here, so if I need to do any splatters, or if I want to just kind of dab or whatever, I might play with that on the glass here just to have some fun. And if I want to do some really tight points on something, I can use this. It's just a nice little needle tip. So, yeah. Let me clean up and get to work here.
you.